Societal norms obviously is broad, so we've narrowed it down. You know, obviously as Nigerians, we know how it is growing up. Our parents they will become doctors, want to become lawyer. In fact, they try and like basically push us into reading particular things in university and stuff like that. So we're here to discuss, why, what's the reason behind it, advantages, disadvantages. What do you guys think?
Rolz.
Well, okay, who's going first?
So let the guests go first.
Wait, yeah, go
Olaitan,
first. Yeah, that'll go first.
yeah, Olaitan, please.
Okay, for me, I feel like first of all, that is bullshit. Like, why? Why do you have to like force your
Wait, may
own
I ask? May I ask what you do, by the
your
way? Are you
own
like?
views? What?
May I ask what you
What
do?
do
Are you
you-
like a doctor, lawyer, any of
Oh no,
those?
no, none of that, none of that. I'm more into like sales, yeah. But I actually did electrical engineering,
Oh, you're an
and that was
engineer.
Wow.
my dad. But yeah, I
Okay.
still enjoy both. I'm more inclined towards the sales, and I really like working with people. So yeah, I feel like forcing your views or forcing your choices on someone does not make any sense. Like it is not just I don't know. I just feel like it is not necessary because at the end of the day, it's just going to stress the person. It's just going to put the person under unnecessary pressure, especially if the person
Hmm.
doesn't because the person doesn't enjoy it, obviously. And sometimes like
Okay.
some people are just, but like not everybody is able to adjust. So it's just like too much pressure for one person, and like you really don't know how the person is handling it. You're just saying, oh, you have to do this. If the person is not like getting like the results you want from me, like if the person is not, oh gosh, I need to calm down. I feel
No,
like
I
no,
I'm
know what
go
you
off,
mean.
getting
I
go
know.
off, go off.
I feel like I'm getting triggered because my dad actually made me do engineering, but at some point I
Yeah.
started to
Aha,
enjoy
that's what
it.
I was going
But
to
like,
ask next.
I could tell. I could tell. Don't worry.
but yeah, it's not really. It doesn't make any sense. You like allow them to try different things, like allow your kids to try different things, and whatever they want to pick at the end of the day, like it's entirely up to them. You don't need to stress
Mhm.
about because at the end of the day, most of the African parents I know, they feel like, oh, if you don't move into like this career path, like you're not going to like make anything good out of your life. You're not going to get the perfect job. You're not going to stay in the perfect house. You're not going to be like the role model to your
Mhm.
younger ones and all of that. But at the end of the day,
But
people
you know
succeed
what?
in like different career paths. So it's not
Facts,
a
facts.
linear, it's a path. It's not linear. So like it can be like it is wavy. You don't have to go in one direction. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I feel
Mm.
that's what I feel.
Well, I don't know. If you're triggered now, then this pod is going to be mad because I've never even started anything. But like, so I was going to ask about that. So your dad made you do electrical engineering. Cause I was wondering, you say you're more into sales. I was like, so why have you suddenly done engineering? You've got it. Are you done? You're done with school, yeah?
Yeah, I'm done.
So it seems like you're able to go through it, no problem. I'm just assuming. I don't
Mm.
know. You
No,
know,
no problem. Is subjective, bro.
there's no problem in the sense that at least you're done. Yeah, I mean, so I would let's flip the script because from a parent perspective, you know, what's the
Wait,
reason
wait,
you
wait,
would?
wait. Just before you like switch it, like there was something she said that I actually wanted to pick up on because she said when she was talking that sometimes like you're going through school, your parents have sent you to go and do this course
Mhm,
that they want you to do, and they don't necessarily know how you're adapting to it and how it's affecting you.
mhm,
And the thing is, like, that's very true because, and it goes back to even primary school, secondary school. Do you know how many
Mm-hmm.
kids in Nigeria or even other countries that had learning disabilities that just never knew? And then whenever
yeah,
they come home, their parents look at
True.
their report card and all they can do is shout at you and say, you failed, you did this, you did this, you're not working hard enough. When in reality, you could have other things that are impeding your development and learning. So I remember like one of my friends kind of told me like a story, something related to this. And I wrote a blog on it like this maybe like a year and a half ago, maybe. And after that came out, like you'd be surprised how many people came to me and said like, oh, they had dyslexia, they had dyspraxia, they had this, they had that, and just never knew till they got to university. But their whole lives, Like they just thought they weren't good enough because their parents
Is
used
that
to
a
shout at
function
them and
of
say,
what you're studying though? I feel like that's just slightly
no,
different.
no, no. That's what I'm. No, but it's related to like your parents putting this high
Pressure.
expectation and standard on
I
you
see, I
and
see.
not knowing how you can react to it or if you can even ever adapt to what it is they want to do because they don't necessarily pay enough attention to the impact like what they're doing has on you. So that's why I just wanted to but yeah, you can flip the script if you want.
Yeah, so because from a parent perspective, right, it's like you want your child to do better than you. And they're coming from a different generation where I mean, right now, I mean, you can make millions from TikTok or YouTube, but I think they don't like understand that, right? So they just want, go to a job where you can make money, where you can be able to provide for your future family, and blah blah blah. So I feel like that's the perspective. But every parent is different. But I feel like if you then come with a presentable case of saying, I'm going to do this, and it's going to get this money because blah blah blah, I feel like they might be more receptive. Although I do agree that most African parents are just like, do this, and whether you can cope or not, it is what it is. I mean, but if you just flip the script for that second, it's probably because you want your child to do well. I guess, because if you've hustled all your life, I mean, and then your child just comes say, "Oh, I want to make videos on YouTube," it's like, bitch. I mean, but I brought you here, this far, and blah blah blah. So that's like that aspect of that I think. So is it acceptable? I don't know, but I feel like they do have a bit of ground though to see. Okay, do this.
They do
Yeah.
actually.
I don't
I
know,
mean,
Rose. What
still,
do you think?
you're doing a profession that's less
Yeah,
mainstream.
exactly. So for me, right, like when I said, okay, I wanted to do this, like my mom was outrightly like, no, like that's like, nah, like you're not doing that. So
And then what
I
happened?
think that's, yes, she was straight up like, nah, and no, like, no, of course not. Popsy was like, let the boy do what he wants to do. I mean, and in this life, I'm all about, you have to have fun. So if they didn't let me do that, I'd have forced my way to go and I'll go and play football because like I have to at least get what I'm doing.
Okay, wait. If they don't allow you to do what you're doing, it will allow you to play football.
No, I'd have gone to play football. I don't know if they would have allowed me, obviously, but like, I'd
God,
have
look
at
at this
least
broke
tried.
man at 16 saying he's going to go out and play football. What money?
Yeah,
Look at this
yeah, but imagine I would have made it. You get
You
what
know
I'm
the thing now, parents are more open. Like parents are more open. They see that it doesn't just have to be like you being a doctor or a lawyer or anything like that to like make it. They're seeing other people that have decided to
seeing it
follow
exactly. So
their
there's proof.
passion. They're seeing it, so they're more relaxed when you say you want to do these things. They'll just maybe give you a couple of years, and if you don't like show results, they're like, oh, please switch back.
So for you now, like to say, like as a parent now,
Mm.
I assume you want to be a parent someday, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So say your child then says, they don't want to be a doctor, they don't want to be a lawyer, maybe they want to, I don't know, like do OnlyFans or something. What's your
no,
response?
come on, bro.
Wait, no, it means it's not professional.
This guy went to
No,
like
no, no,
one
no.
other extreme.
Let me push
He
the
didn't even
wall
build
a
it
bit.
up. Like this guy just went to the extreme end.
No, 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 no. It's because it's not. It's we're talking societal norms, right? That is outside of the norm. I mean, but that's something that can also bring in money. So what?
No, but
What?
like I feel like it's an easy answer because like religious perspective just wouldn't work,
No,
So it's just like
she's just created the impression that people are more open now. Therefore, we should be open to all.
oh
So
yeah,
now,
oh yeah, let her answer. Let
now,
her answer.
Okay, so there's a difference between being more open and being like outrightly stupid. Because a normal parent, like
mm-hmm.
you know that it's different if you say, oh yeah, I want to start maybe what can I even think of? What is something that seems really stupid, but like parents
Maybe
will
YouTube,
like,
maybe like a YouTube or something.
YouTube is now mainstream,
okay.
though.
Exactly. If you say
Nah,
YouTube,
in
people
what
will be
country?
like, if you say YouTube or if you tell your parents, oh, I just want to create content, that's why I was like, they give you like a certain amount of time to see if this thing actually makes sense. If you're producing, like if you're bringing home the money, now
Mm-hmm.
they actually give you they give you time, Sha, to see if this thing makes sense. But something like OnlyFans, you don't just like no normal parent. Okay, some
Mm-hmm.
parent. Okay, no normal parent is going to
Be
answer if you
careful,
say
though.
you want
Be careful
to
here.
start.
Do you know the thing I asked? Because like in my area here, like there's a house couple blocks down. Somebody bought that house, very expensive house. You know the person does only fans. So obviously it seems like anybody can make money anyhow. That's why. So if the child is coming back like no, but I'm making cash though, then it's like now what? I mean, I'm not saying I know what I would do if I was a parent in that situation. Honestly, I'll just be confused. Because like
Really?
that's a tough one.
Well, it actually depends on your values. Like some people
Exactly.
don't see a problem with it. Like some people think that, oh, this is normal. Like, but for me, I don't think I'm going to allow my kids to do that because I don't see it as something that's normal. But some
Mm,
people don't have a problem with it.
okay.
Rose, what you saying? OnlyFans?
Ah, well, obviously, I have to back my baby on this one because, like,
Yo.
Better.
like, mm, like she said, it all boils down to individuals' values, and we all don't have the same parents. So some parents might see it and like, oh, yeah, go ahead. And I even watched one video where this guy he did OnlyFans and he used like the money that he gained to pay off his sister's student loans.
Oh
And,
yeah, I saw
and
that.
like
Oh, that dirty
yeah.
money. Oh shit.
And like the guy's mother was there and she didn't seem to have like an issue with it. And also like some people's parents might be comfortable with their kids doing it. I mean, like once you're an adult, you make your own decisions and all. But then on this side of the world, we know how our parents are towards such things, and especially considering the fact that like a lot of our parents are very, very religious, and part of the things that we learn in scriptures are the rights or the noble or honorable ways to make money
Mm-hmm.
and all of that. So definitely that's like a key factor in people's selection of career choices. Although then definitely there always be people that be rebellious, like you know that your parents wouldn't agree with you doing these kind of things, but I'm just like, man, it's my life. You guys don't have any hold on me. You can't stop me from making my own
That's
decisions
full on, yeah, yeah.
as well. So that's pretty much how it is. Then in terms of like the whole doctors, lawyers, well, as much as like we know that okay, we should be allowed to like make our reasonable choices, reasonable in quotes.
Mm-hmm.
Our parents also understand like the need for that financial security. That's why they push us towards like certain roles, like be a doctor, be a lawyer, so that like you can be financially secure and all of that. So that's one of the things that might influence their decisions into making their children push into these rules. But at the end of the day, like the world is constantly changing. So because like everybody was pushing for being a doctor, like maybe a good 8 to 10 years ago, like you look at today now, people are on YouTube, people are into tech, people are doing different things apart from the regular
Mm-hmm.
professions, and like they are still making it big. So at the
Okay,
end
let
of
me
the day,
let me let me ask you a funny question too with that. So if we are now seeing everybody is making it big, right? As a child, let's be honest, school is not fun. I mean, for the most part, it's not really fun. So are children then allowed to then have like an escape route? Like, okay, well, if all else fails, I can always do YouTube, or I can always try this, I can always try that. Because I feel like that's then the culture you create. Because everybody does YouTube now. Like everybody has YouTube now.
well,
So
I personally I don't think that should be encouraged. Education is important, whether or not you want to be a YouTuber or a dancer or whatever. We all need that basic education because at
do
the end
we
of the day,
though?
yeah, we do. Let's be
Elon,
honest.
I don't
We
know.
all need
Bill Gates didn't go to school, he dropped out.
that's cap. That's what they always want to tell you.
You
But
say
Bill
Bill
Gates has
Gates.
a
No, he
level.
went back. He went back.
Exact. Can you see? He went back. So
Okay,
at the
okay.
end of the day, like we all need some sort of education because you don't just wake up one day and discover that you have knowledge. Like we all need that little education, go to school, learn some things. And even though like there are some people that they maybe they might not have had the best of formal education that are making it big, having that education will always give you an advantage. Well, not always, sha, but like it
To
gives
give
you,
to give you
yeah,
something for sure.
yeah.
Sure.
So education is important, irrespective, and especially when you want to apply for jobs and all of that, because it's not everybody that will end up being a creative. It's not everybody that will end up having a business. Some people
True,
thrive
true.
in working environments where they are pretty much a crucial cog in the organization's functioning. So with that, their education, they might pretty much as well be putting in their own contribution to society, making the world a better place. So
Mm.
at the end of the day, that education is still important.
Actually, before Kamal talks, let me quickly add this because you mentioned about having a business. I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like everybody in this generation is like, oh, you work and work and work, and eventually you have your own business. I don't know why there's this sudden push for everybody to have their own
I
business.
feel the same way, bro.
Guy,
Like
I'm like,
everyone
no, I
always
like
always.
facts, guy. See, like Kamal, you for example, that eventually, you have your own law firm. But it's like, no, but what if you don't want to do that? Like,
Exactly, and I don't actually.
exactly,
And
like,
people are always like, "Why wouldn't you want to open your own?" I'm like, I don't even know how much desire I have to even practice law in the traditional
guy,
sense.
like, I don't
Why do you
understand
niggas
why
think I want to open a
everybody,
chamber?
yeah.
Like, I don't want to open a chamber, bro. I don't have no intention of doing that.
Yeah.
I feel you, I feel you, I feel you, I feel you. Come on, who is it?
Yeah. So yeah, this is one of those things that I feel like is well intentioned from the parent perspective, but like that intention sometimes is slightly misplaced because whilst they want all of us to have professional jobs like lawyers and doctors and engineers, the problem is everybody else and our grandmothers and our grandfathers also have the same thinking for their own children. So what ends up happening is you have a convoluted workspace. So in law school now, right now, there's like 4,000 or like 5,000 students. And I can assure you that there are not 4,000 or 5,000 spaces in law firms available right now. So
Mm,
all those people that took law for 5 years plus law school, another extra year, 6 years, what are they
mhm,
going to do after they graduate? Like they're not going to get jobs in law. Like it's just not possible. And the
mhm,
same thing goes for like doctors and engineers, at least in this country, even though there are shortages in other countries, but in this country, there's no shortage anywhere. So
mm,
what I would say is I feel like parents, if your child, if that's the route your child wants to go, like a lawyer or a doctor, I think you can encourage it and you should want them to do it because like Olaitan said at the beginning, like there's financial security, and
mm,
so that's the main reason why people want you to go that route because of the security attached to it. But I feel like if your child has a different passion and a different ambition, I don't think you should force them to go down the route that everybody else is going down. Because one, they won't have the motivation to do it, and two,
mm,
even if somehow they find the motivation, they get good grades, that doesn't necessarily mean they want to do it as a career. They might still end up branching off and doing something else, which they could have been doing a lot earlier if you just allow them to follow their passion from the beginning. So it's the culture we live in, and it's the
facts,
culture
man,
in
facts.
most minority societies around the world. But I don't think it's necessarily right totally, even though it's well intentioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the kind of
There's something else. Oh,
sorry, go
sorry.
on. No, you go on, go
I'm
on.
speaking. Okay, so there's something else that just crossed my mind. The thing is that even if you want your kids to like go in a certain path, there is like you should. I feel like you guys can meet in the middle. So before I got my current job, I got an offer. So the company, what they do, they make generators and they sell. It's an
Mhm.
engineering company.
Mm-hmm.
But I told the HR guy that I was more interested in with people talking and all of that. Sales department of that same firm. So you're just mixing like your engineering with sales.
Yeah,
So I feel like to learn to like consider that you don't it doesn't have to be like the career. Like you can move to a different part of that same field. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I feel,
And
yeah.
then, like even for me, like before I did law, like in my when I first got to SS1 or yeah 10 or whatever you guys call it, wherever you are, my parents wanted me to do like science, like physics, chemistry,
Uh-huh.
biology. technical drawing that I fucking hated. Like that's what my parents wanted me to do.
Mhm.
Because they were like science courses are more versatile. Like you can do a lot more than art class. But me, the whole time I'm like, I have no interest in this. I'm not very good at it to begin with. Self, I'm not even very good at it, and I have no interest in it. People think just because you have a brain and you did well in, because I was in the way our school works, like A class, like the top I think 20 people in the year went to A class, and then the rest got shuffled across B, C, and D. So because I'm in A class, in class my GS3, teachers will come in and they will want us to finish math textbook. And the assumption is you're in A class, so you're very good at math.
So
And I
you
hated
must be
math.
sharp. Yeah.
Yeah. And I hated math. And there's this thing we do in Nigeria that if you're smart, that means you're good at math. I don't know.
Yes, yeah. And I'm
But
like, what's the competition?
I'm not good at math and I'm an English guy. Like I like arts, social science. So that's what I like. So when my parents came for visiting, that first visiting in SS1, if you see drama in school, by the time I got to the dormitory after visiting, everybody in my year knew about what happened because my parents were going off about how I'm doing arts and I'm not doing science, and they wanted to go and meet the teacher and make me switch halfway through the term, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, like literally, this was one of the first times I think I had to fight my parents over something. Like my dad was more understanding at the time. My mom was the one that was really pushing for the thing.
Yeah, usually. Yeah.
And then fast forward, how many years later now? Then I've gotten my law degree and I finished law school and all these things. And they're like, okay, fair enough. They can admit when they were wrong. Because at the end of the day, it's like science is not the be all and end all. Like you guys might be good at chemistry and all that, but I'm not good at it, bro. Like, just allow your child do whatever they want to do, man.
Okay. Before we move into, because what I then want to vibe on next is like, okay, so when you are now a parent, how will you then approach certain situations? What will you do different and blah, 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 blah. But to be honest, what I really want to then go into is there really any advantage to having children in the first place? Like in this day and age we live in,
Nigga.
why do people desire to have children? I mean, let's be honest, the world is already overpopulated. So if you want to have a child, you're just being selfish. And like, I'm just saying. So let's start from Rolz. Rolz, is there any advantage to having children? Yes or no? I know you want to go into a long presidential speech. Just say yes or no first, then I'll prompt you.
Yeah, I'd say yeah.
You say yes. Okay,
Yeah,
come on.
personally, I want to have kids.
I know you. Hey, no problem. Come on, what you saying?
What's the question?
Is there any advantage to having children in this day and
Of course,
age?
there's advantages. What do you mean?
Any useful advantages, or I guess
Yeah, I say
advantages.
useful. Yeah, I say children are useless.
Bro, wait, what do you have against kids?
Hey, listen, hey, I have a lot to say. Yeah, but I'm just saying, is it worth it? I guess I should phrase that question. Is it worth it having children, both in the short and long term?
Bro, what you mean?
I've not started the debate yet. Don't worry, we'll debate. I'll tell you my points.
Okay, on a person by okay, this is obviously very subjective, but like I feel most people in Nigeria anyway would want to have kids. Like
Because
apart
that's
from
what society, especially in Nigeria, dictates. I mean, so when people
to a
no,
degree,
but it's true.
yes.
But I've met people that then say, "I don't want to have children," and then it's like, "Oh wow, like no, there must be something wrong with you," and I'm like,
Yeah,
"No,
that's what I
dude."
said to a degree. Yeah. There's that, but if you look at, especially you guys are in America and whatnot, like it's not a societal, or it's less of a societal norm there to have kids. Like there's many people that just choose not to have kids. There's many people that choose to not even get married. Like they just have partners their whole life.
True.
So like all these like societal norms don't dictate life in modern society as
That's
much as
fine.
they
That's
used
why.
to.
So I'm about to balance the advantages with the disadvantages. We're about to have the discussion. But before that, Olaitan, what do you think? For kids, no kids?
Well, yeah, I want to have kids.
Okay. And there are
How many
practical
have you?
advantages. It's worth it long term, short term. Yeah.
I don't know if it's worth it, but like,
Wait. What do you mean?
No. Let me at least have somebody on my side before we enter the debate. So,
That's what I asked her.
yeah.
What does she mean first? Let me
What do
understand what
you
she
mean? What do you mean by that?
if you think of it, like, there's really, you don't want someone coming to change your life. Like
Facts.
when
Thank
you
you.
have
Yo.
kids, when you have kids, like everything
feels.
changes.
Relax.
But at the same time, I want to have kids because I've just been conditioned. Like I've just been,
Because you've been conditioned as a societal norm.
yes, you have to, yes, you have to have kids, you have to do this, but like it's really no pressure.
But why
But
can't we challenge those
it's no,
societal norms? Why do we still have
Rose, is
I,
there no pressure?
there is no
There's no
pressure,
pressure.
but like I love to have
Rose,
your kids.
Rose,
come
is
on
there no
your
There's
pressure?
no
tickets?
pressure. There's no pressure now.
No pressure.
We'll have those babies, but there's no pressure.
Yeah, beautiful baby.
Yeah,
Wink, wink.
Hey, relax. Doing that here. I now
Wow.
here's the thing. Let's take it step by step. Okay, so is there any advantage? I'm sure there is, like self-esteem.
Uh,
Uh there's something that would at least love you for maybe at least the first 5-6 years.
something that will love you.
Something.
Like maybe at least for the first 5-6 years. Well, let's be honest. First of all, obviously, the most important thing is finance. These
Uh,
things are expensive. But remember, it's more than just Pampers.
why are you
It's
calling
so
them? Wait,
I'm
wait,
sorry.
wait, wait.
These kids. No, I'm trying not
Uh-huh.
to